am having to bring in someone extra to fill in for my extra wife who's not here today. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome Extra Chase.
Yeah.
How are you?
All right, buckle up, because this latest episode from the Chrisley clan is a masterclass in family drama, public image management, and some painfully thin attempts at redemption. Let's cut through the fluff and get to what really matters here. When your family saga plays out like a soap opera, and you're still trying to convince the world you've got it all together, that's when the cracks get loudest. Welcome to the Chrisley Chronicles, where sobriety, family feuds, and public sympathy collide in a messy cocktail of truth and spin. The power outage meltdown, a metaphor for the family. Todd and Chase kick off with a tale of a brutal ice storm knocking out power for hundreds of thousands. But listen closely, this isn't just about weather. It's about chaos, discomfort, and the frayed nerves of a family living under one roof. Chase's sour protein shake moment, it's almost symbolic. Things that should nourish are spoiled, expired, and bitter. And the bickering over who brought what to whose house. Classic passive-aggressive family dysfunction disguised as just joking. Why does this matter? Because it sets the tone for everything else. A family struggling to find peace amid literal and figurative darkness, and yet they're still broadcasting it all for public consumption. Is this transparency or just another way to keep the spotlight on their drama? Sobriety on display, progress, or PR. Chase's 8 months sober is front and center, but here's the kicker. He claims he can hang out in bars without temptation. That's a red flag for anyone who knows addiction isn't that simple. Sure, everyone's journey is different, but publicly saying you're fine around alcohol after recent struggles invites skepticism. It's almost like he's trying to rewrite his narrative before critics do it for him. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, entitlement accusations. Chase denies money was just thrown at him to fix problems, but the reality is complicated. When you come from a wealthy family with resources, rehab isn't just accessible, it's cushioned. That privilege shapes recovery in ways many can't relate to. So when haters question his path, they're not just trolling, they're pointing out a glaring disconnect between celebrity recovery and everyday struggles. Boundaries or blame game. The back and forth on boundaries is telling. Todd insists he set firm rules, no drinking in his house, yet Chase moved out at 18 after a fight over a TV remote. That's not just about boundaries, that's about simmering resentment, boiling over. And Todd's claim that he washed his hands of Chase and Savannah's decisions sounds less like tough love and more like giving up while still holding them accountable publicly. Here's the real question. Are these boundaries healthy limits or convenient excuses for fractured relationships? Because if you're airing this much dirty laundry on a podcast, maybe those boundaries aren't working as intended. The sobriety success story with caveats. Chase talks about trauma being the root cause of his addiction. Fair enough. That's an important insight. But then there's this odd juxtaposition. He admits to partying hard during his unhealthy years, yet now claims he's a totally different human being. Growth is great, but the public airing of past mistakes mixed with ongoing family tension makes you wonder if this is genuine healing or just another chapter in their ongoing saga. And Todd's insistence that Chase take accountability, 90% my fault, is refreshing but also feels like damage control. It's almost scripted redemption theater designed to soften public perception. Political hot takes prison advocacy. A distraction or genuine cause. Todd veers into politics and prison reform with passion, calling out abuses in federal prisons and corruption in Minnesota politics. On paper, this sounds noble, but given Todd's own legal battles and public image issues, it raises eyebrows. Is this advocacy or an attempt to rebrand himself as a serious commentator beyond reality TV drama? His call out of a specific prison officer for mistreatment is bold, but again, it feels like part of a larger narrative. Todd wants to control the fighter for justice who also happens to be a flawed but redeemed man. The family peace fantasy versus reality check. Todd closes with talk about peace, faith, and family unity. You can't put a price on peace, yet throughout the episode we hear about fights, bad moods, ruining everyone else's day, and unresolved resentments. The gap between what they say and what they live is glaring. This matters because it exposes the tension between public persona and private reality, something fans have long suspected but rarely get such an unfiltered glimpse into. This episode is less about healing and more about managing optics while airing grievances that should probably stay private. The Chrisleys are experts at turning personal pain into public content, but at what cost? Sobriety is celebrated but questioned. Family bonds are touted but strained. political commentary is mixed with personal vendettas. What gets ignored here is how much of this is performative versus authentic growth. And viewers should ask themselves, are we watching real progress or just another act in an ongoing reality show masquerading as therapy? Stay skeptical, because when it comes to celebrity families like this one, peace might be priceless, but drama sells better every time.